so easily. You bleed for me, it needs to be done disgustingly. Put your trust in me, I'll draw lines on your neck with shiny sharp steel. Girls, I'll make you so wet. Show respect, I'm a savage at your throat. Panic and gasping for breath, bitch, just choke on your own blood. And there's no love with this old love. I'll put you in the cold blood. Hey, cutthroat, since day number one. My switchblades, been a lover to some. In and out, over and over. A throat poker, shirt soaker, then laugh like the Joker. Why so serious? I'm curious, sick and delirious. My cutthroat style, so furious, so mysterious. The name ain't clever, a go-getter that'll sever any throat better.
So C-U-T-T, yeah, that's me. Still cutthroat, motherfucker. You got a problem. So C-U-T-T, yeah, that's me. You got a problem.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the third episode of HorrorCorridor, part of the Quality Violent Cinema Network, and we're here with the legendary Komatose. What's up, man?
Yo, man, how's it going?
Dude, it's great.
Good.
Yeah, it's. I can't believe that I was able to reach you and you were to be so open with me. And
Yeah,
be
man.
like, let's do a show. I'm like, I'm down.
Fuck yeah.
Let's make it
I'm
happen.
open.
Yeah, so within a week, I think, of being a hold of you, we made it happen. So
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure, man. I appreciate you asking me.
Yeah. So I've been following you for quite a while. I think I probably got into kind of later on in your career, but it was a while ago. It was 2010-ish, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, so I've kind of been following you since then, and then I dropped off, and then like recently came back after. I think the last thing you put out that I saw was the Boom Splat backpack. I don't have a name in front of me right now.
The Boom Blat Blood Splat Horrorcore backpack.
Which is like my favorite release of yours.
Thank you.
And then when I came back, kind of like earlier this month, I've been checking out a lot of stuff, going back to different artists that I haven't checked out in a while. And you redid The Uglier.
Yes, I did.
And it's fantastic.
Thank you.
It is
I
awesome.
appreciate that.
And that's just one of those things where I'm like, how could that album, it's a classic to a lot of people.
Yeah, it was actually one of my favorites that I did. The reason why I redid it is because I was in a transitional period in my life. I was just got divorced, bouncing around between places, and I had like a stage microphone and a shitty computer and no pop guard, and I sat in a chair hunched over some milk crates and recorded the whole album that way. And anytime I'd replay it, I'd just be like, man, this could sound so much better. So I said, fuck it. Let's fucking redo it. I have, everything available. Why not?
Yeah. That's crazy. I just used to listen to that all the time, and I never would have thought it was just going to get you don't hear albums get remade like you. That's a really original idea. It doesn't sound original, but it's almost like kind of goes with the horror motif of remakes, But yeah,
for sure.
So it's like the Komatose remake.
Cool. Yeah. I refer to it as I George Lucas my own shit.
Yeah.
He remade the original 3 movies. So I was like, fuck it. I'll ruin my fucking album. Why not?
Yeah. And he didn't ruin it. You improved it. A few things I wanted to ask about though is the artist that you inserted in replacement of others. What was the choices that went into that? Because you used to have J Hex Project, Bobby Knight. I'm a huge fan of those two guys. So what was your idea to not have those vocal tracks on and to put the new people on?
With J Hex and Ruckus, well, I kept Ruckus on there because Ruckus, is my longtime partner.
Yeah.
I just wanted a kind of a new vibe, and over the pandemic, I came up with the idea of doing live streams from my house. I've got 5 cameras here in the house. And I bought a video switcher. I have my own PA system, and I got a hell of a lot of room downstairs. So I used to just locals. I was like, hey man, pandemic shut down all these fucking shows. Let's do shows in my house, broadcast to the internet. I was watching people like Jizza and Beck and shit, and they're just doing it with like one camera or their camera phone. And it sounds like shit. I'm like, dude, how am I going to like upstage these people who have disposable income to do this? And I had this cat, Buddy Danger, come in. I opened a show for him. Dude named Justin. Oh God, I forgot his name. He works for Vice, but he was on tour, and Buddy was on the tour. He's like, well, I live in Iowa. If you ever do some shit, why don't you just get a hold of me and we'll do something. So I brought him to Studio C live, and we did the live show here. And he's like, well, if you ever got any tracks, just holler at me. I was like, cool. So I was thinking, I was like, well, I got J Hex, and everyone knows J Hex first, and I want to kind of put Buddy on something, and so fuck it, let's just replace it. And I kept phrasing from J Hex's original verse and mixed it into the chorus, so he's still on there technically.
Okay.
But yeah, I just kind of want to give it a different vibe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, respect to J Hex. J Hex is one of the originals, dude. Waves the flag for horrorcore. So nothing personal there.
Oh yeah.
The other one was Slave to Death, I think, with Bobby Knight and Satanic. Yeah. I just didn't have the instrumental for that one anymore. I didn't have the files for it.
I was wondering about that because there's one that just had a bunch of question marks or.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a hidden track.
Okay.
If you bought the pre-order, you got that track. If you bought the album after the pre-order, that track, you never got it. It's not out on digital anywhere. So
I think that was on the Discogs. I might have seen that. I've been bouncing back and forth between Bandcamp, Spotify, and Discogs because the playlists are like a little bit different on each one. So
yeah.
So
and if you notice, I'm actually in there trying to fix all the Discog shit.
Oh, really?
I've been in there a couple times trying to fix shit, and because I noticed a lot of shit's just like out of order, wrong names, and I'm just like, well, I am the artist. I will fix this.
That's awesome.
So
cool. Well, that's like, I don't know. I think Discogs is a very valuable resource.
For sure,
for artists, and for also Horrorcore Wiki. I've kind of been looking into a lot for this episode, and there's a few questions I'm going to have that are based on it, and that they might be bogus. So maybe you can
fact or fiction
at that. Yeah,
for sure.
So one thing I wanted to relate to you with is you said like your first influence in hip hop, and I've listened to some interviews with you, was the Fresh Prince, Will Smith.
Yep.
And that was my first tape too, was In This Corner and Code Red.
Yeah.
Were my first tapes. So what were your first like Will Smith?
I had he's a DJ, I'm the rapper. Was my mom bought that for me when I was like 8 years old. Nice. I wanted it because I saw Parents Just Understand on like MTV, I think, when MTV was still brand new, and I thought this was like the illest shit ever. And I was like, yeah, my mom doesn't understand anything I do. I relate to this. So told her that I wanted that, and for my 8th birthday I got the cassette. And then right after that, I think and In This Corner just came out, so she got me like the other one like the month later. So I was like, those were my first 2 cassettes.
They're great too.
And then with the Nightmare on My Street shit, I was like, I started watching horror movies. I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, and I saw the first Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like 2nd grade, which is probably the year before that. So I was like, horror and rap, that's fucking awesome. I have to have this shit.
It's like amazing. The perfect year to see it too. Like when your brain is forming. So
I
can just imagine what was going on in Komatose's head at that age.
Bro, I had a lot of sleepless nights as a kid.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like I would stay up all night afraid to go to bed just because like I hope Freddy don't get me.
Yeah. My parents didn't let me watch it until I was maybe 13 or so. I saw the 4th one on TV like a little bit earlier, but I just didn't. I never got to watch it when it was scary. So
like how I saw him was like I'd go to sleepovers over my cousins and shit. And my cousins, I had like 5, 6 cousins, and parents would go to bed and they'd just be like, don't burn down the house. So they would flip on Playboy channels, fucking HBO, rent fucking rated R's, and it's what we would do all night till like 4 or 5 in the morning watching shit we're not supposed to.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The best generation too, right?
Oh, for sure. 80s horror, buddy.
I know. There was so much funny stuff on TV, like especially with like, MTV's bogus now, and it always kind of has been, but it used to be kind of cool in the 90s with the liquid television and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I want to go like into your career real quick, or for a while. I want to start at the beginning. First off, what was the influence for the Pumpkin Mask and the Komatose moniker? Just everything involved in that. Was there something before, or how did you?
There was one mask gimmick before it, but as lame as this sounds, I just opened a dictionary and started flipping through pages, seeing what word was cool, what word resonated with me. What word is not a rapper's name yet? And I got to K and I saw Komatose, or C, excuse me, not K. And I'm like, of course I got to be hip hop. So let me take that C and replace it with the K, because you got to misspell your name when you're a rapper.
Of course.
So it was just that lame, actually.
And was the horror stuff coming into play at that time? Or
oh, yeah.
was it just rap?
No, when I first started writing raps, it was horror out the box. Like, I heard Child's Play by Bushwick Bill. I thought that was the scariest shit ever. I'm like, holy fuck, a Chucky rap? And then Alice Cooper had Man in the Mask. I'm like, so we can mix horror movies and music together. So out the box, that's what I was writing. Never heard ICP, never knew horrorcore was a thing. I thought I was doing like original shit. I was 16, 17 around the time writing it. And I used to play this game on PlayStation called Loaded. There's this, I can't remember the dude's name, but he had this like money bag over his head, and it had like a streak for an eye, and his mouth was stitched together, and his other one was a button. He was like really fucked up looking. I was like, I want a mask like that for my persona. So I went to some sporting goods store or a hunting store or something, and I found this gray ski mask, and I kind of stitched one of the eyes closed. I put like a red streak across my mouth, put blood splatter on it, dug a bunch of holes in it, pulled my hair throughout a couple strands. And that was my first mask in my group before Kryptik, which was Asylum. We was just karaoke raps and shit back in the day. But that was my first persona. But then like people are like, that's kind of weird looking. And like, it's not cool weird. It's like weird. Like,
yeah.
So with Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, I always thought that was fucking awesome. Like this mythical pumpkin creature in a pumpkin patch. Like, I watched it later that year, during Halloween time with my kids. And I was like, I should do something with that. I should do like a pumpkin character. And then I went online, searched pumpkin mask, and came up with a luchador, an AAA. It's called Halloween 666. He had an inverted mask, which was black with orange stripes. I said, that's it right there. And I bought that mask, and that's where it started.
I love that mask. I know that maybe you've moved on from it, because your new one is really cool. Like,
Thank you.
It's awesome. It's just something about that evolution of going from that mask to the one you have now. It just feels like there's a story there, kind of.
There is. There kind of is.
It adds to the Komatose like guy. So
yeah, for sure. Because I had the original pumpkin mask, and then I got left behind after my divorce. One of my friends got a hold of it, held onto it for like a year, got all smoky and gross. I took that mask, like, what am I going to do with this? So then I went shopping. It was Halloween time, thankfully, and I found this really cool, cheap plastic mask pumpkin face shield. And then I took one of those invisible hoods where it blacks out your entire face, cut the straps out, ran the straps through the invisible hood, tied it so I had like this hood over and a pumpkin mask, and you couldn't see my eyes or mouth. I had that for 6 months, and then I'm like, this isn't doing it either. I really missed that other mask. And I found a tailor. I was like, I brought it in. Can you remake this? He's like, let me look at it. Flipped it inside out, start taking measurements. Like, give me 2 weeks. I'll make you another one. So that I actually had 2 of that masks. One was made here locally, and then one was made from some wrestling store. So, and then that actually started to fall apart. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? These cloth ones don't last that long. So,
and what era are you at now?
That one.
Like, what era when you got that? Was that
this one right here?
Yeah.
This is probably number 5. And I had a form after this. I tried upgrading after this. I bought a full $700 silicone mask that went all the way down my neck and into my chest. So my entire neck was like bark and stems and shit.
Wow.
And then it was a black pumpkin, and it like stuck to my face. Like if I moved my lips, the lips would move. I moved my eyebrows, the eyebrows would move.
Jeez.
Only problem is that fucker was like 15 pounds. So I put it on. The first time I put it on, I actually jacked up my neck. It kind of gave me a stinger because I didn't think it was so heavy. And I performed in it once, one time only. Dude, I took that mask off, just water everywhere. almost passed out on stage. Like I had to
Damn.
stop and kind of like balance myself because I was getting overheated and sweating so much. I'm like, this ain't it. So then I went back to this one, and actually this has, as you can see, now a full head with it.
Okay.
So I still do wear a silicone piece, except it breathes at the bottom. So I can like let some of that shit out. And then there's nose holes in that one, so I can actually breathe out my nose and shit. The other one was like, it fucking sucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how bands like Guar and stuff, how they can just tour every single night, just drenched in the sweat, and then go back up and do it again.
So for Christmas, I got my girls some tickets to see Ghost. And I don't know what you know about Ghost.
I know.
But Papa Emeritus performs in a full silicone piece for an hour and sings well. And I'm just like, I don't know how you do it, because it's a full neck piece. It goes down in here. Dang. I noticed that his ears are actually cut out of his hole, so he can hear well, because you could see his earplugs, and then he has nose too. So, but the funny thing was, I was like, so I'm taking notes mentally when I'm watching them. I'm like, how does he do this? And I would notice between every 2 songs he'd run backstage. I go, I bet he's getting cooled off real quick and coming right back out.
Good point.
It's got to be. That's my hypothesis.
It's crazy to base so much of the show around going back and getting cooled off.
I don't
like based more on that than the music almost.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Because it's so uncomfortable. It is tough, but pain is art.
Yeah. I was gonna ask too, your vocal style, like you're not belting out your vocals. You're either singing or you're doing a low tone.
Or I'm doing this.
Exactly. Yeah. How do you get that voice out of a mask into a microphone live and have the PA have it loud enough for everyone? Is that ever?
Well, the mask is actually jaw hinged. Okay. There's hinges on this, so it moves with my face. Okay. And then this is a black screen, so it's not that hard. What I found with the new challenges, since I do have this silicone piece, the lips in the silicone piece kind of interfere with my lips, so I try to move it around while I'm rapping. But other than that, it's become like second nature anymore. It's not too bad. It's just something I had to learn.
That's awesome.
Because I want to bring the theatrics and shit to fucking shows. Like with this, now I've actually got sleeves that go all the way past my elbow that encompass my entire arms and hands. So it's like I got these zombie arms when I'm performing and shit now. So it's really cool.
Have you ever done like stage play type stuff? Like had like, I don't know, like a killing on stage or like zombies coming out or anything like that? Like,
are you reaching into my brain? Because after I saw Ghost, I'm like, what can I do to step this up? Like, they really inspired me to be like, I need to take it to another level. Because about 2 years ago, I invested in a projection screen and a projector and a short throw projector. I would have like clips of movies like hit at certain times, and I'd play like movie trailers between my set, an intro and outro, and just people were like, oh my God, this is like really interactive. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty dope. But then I'm thinking like, how can I step that up? And then I saw Ghost. I'm like, dude, I need to get some actors and some people. I need to figure out how to make a fake campfire on stage. I need to find some old hillbilly with a storybook. Like I got all these ideas of.
I bet you could like reach out to a local haunt company maybe. Cause like, I feel like a lot of the time those people are just off season. They're just looking for stuff to do. So,
and I got a homie who's actually big in the haunt scene, and he does haunt appearances all year long. And I was like, that's the guy I could reach out to if I need some shit.
It'd be sick if you rolled someone out and like did a surgery on them while you were rapping. Fucking awesome.
I've got all types of ideas after that show, man. I'm just like, the sky's really the limit, because technically it's not going to cost much, because I'm not going to get like a big stage show. Like that pumpkin right there, I've got 2 of those. They're like 3-foot pumpkins, and I got those for the stage. So, and then I got a gravestone, and that's kind of my little setup with the movie screen and shit. But I'm like, I want some actors, I want some people moving around, and that's just asking people, hey, what are you doing Saturday night? Why don't you come and hang out with me and do some shit? You know, doesn't cost nothing.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened on stage?
I fell off stage once. Strictly for the Wicked and Phoenix. Normally I wear glasses. I haven't worn glasses probably in about 10 years. But at that time, I used to just take my glasses off, put my mask on, and go. And then when I'm done, take it off, put my glasses back on, and we're good. Wasn't paying attention where the fucking edge of the stage was, and I just walked right the fuck off. Luckily, it was only like 3 feet, so I kind of only jacked my feet up just a little, played it off like, oh yeah, I'm cool. I meant to do that. But that's about the only thing that's crazy that's happened on stage. Nothing too wild.
You never had to slug an audience member or anything like that?
Actually, I did hit someone in the mouth once on accident.
Oh.
I was performing oh God, what was the song? Make it bloody. All I want to do is, it's an October's Children's song, a remake of MIA Paper Planes.
Oh, cool.
And I would do this part where I'd swing the knife where it goes and make it bloody. And this girl had no idea like who I was. She was just a bar patron, and she runs up and she's like, oh yeah, MIA. And like I do that swing part, and my eyes are closed, and I just hit her bop right across the face with the microphone, like hard. And she goes, ugh, and kind of runs away from the stage. And
that wasn't MIA.
No. Yeah, no rap for you. Pow.
Good thing you weren't using like a prop knife or like a real knife or something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Could have been a different story.
So what's going on with Ruckus these days?
From what I've seen, I haven't talked to him in a hot bit. He had some medical stuff come up. I know he had some surgeries last year, and he's been out of the scene for a hot minute. He'd come back and be like, you know what? I got a Halloween song. You want to put it out? Okay, I'll put it out. And he's like, we should do a Kryptik song. Okay, let's do a Kryptik song. But past year, he's been real quiet. And then all of a sudden, I see that he's with 3SE. I didn't know that until I found out like a month ago.
Was there like an announcement or
from 3SE? Yes, he didn't tell me anything. I mean, that's cool. I'm not his keeper. Do what you want, bro. So,
interesting.
But last I heard, he's with 3SE.
Because I was looking at Horrorcore Wiki, and dude still puts out albums constantly.
That was like he would put an album out every 3 months for like 5 years. That's why his catalog's so big. It's not like he put a new record out every year constantly. It was just like, here's a new record. Who's a new record? I was like, bro, let it breathe.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is you can't find any of it anywhere. Like none of it streams and none of it. Have you ever asked him why? I know this isn't a Ruckus interview, but
no, it's fine.
Since we'll never probably get to talk to him.
I actually haven't talked to him about it. He's always like, here's my new record. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks. I'll give it a spin. And that's it. Like he just keeps recording and kept recording. And I honestly think he got burned out because he just kept making songs and songs and songs and songs and songs and give himself some time to recharge. But I guess this last 2 years, he hasn't put out much, and now he's doing 3SE shit, which more power to him.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are looking for his stuff, and there's just nowhere to be found. So
yeah.
But that's what's cool about you is all of your stuff is like pretty easy to find, but and everything that's not up on the Spotify, just on the Bandcamp. So I got to check out a lot of like, especially the You and Your Friends Are Dead album, which was like remixes and rare stuff.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that must have
found an old. I was going through emails and I found an old Just 10 song he asked me to be a part of after he passed. And I'm like,
yeah,
how the fuck do I have this? And how the fuck did I not put it out? So I was like, that's actually how that album was built. I was like, I got to put this out on something. And I was like, all right, we'll just make a new remix album and fuck it, build it around that.
So another question I had is also based off the Horrorcore Wiki because I was looking at Six Side and your name was on there as a member.
Yep.
Were you a member of Six Side at some point?
I was actually going to be a part of 3SE for a hot minute. With the Lights of the Pumpkin EP, that was when I was going to come aboard. Like, all right, we're going to work. And of course, I mean, I don't know how much you know about Bob, but Bob isn't the most reliable person, let me say.
I've been talking to him. So
yeah, he's kind of
it's kind of a we'll see kind of situation with him. So,
yeah. So, I mean, like plans were full board. Let's make you a member of Six Side and go forward. And then it just kind of all fell apart again. And then we were actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this. about 2-3 years ago, I had Jay Hex and Ice Pick Willie on Cutthroat Productions, and I was waiting for them to put out records. Nothing ever came of it. And then they were like, well, let's just remake Six Hide. It would have been me, Jay Hex, Bobby Knight, Kilcha, and Sinister X. We were all talking in a group chat. It was about to happen, and then it fell apart again. Just shit happens.
That would have been fucking legendary.
Yeah, it'd have been fucking wild, but such is life, you know.
You fit right into that like cast of characters too, and I'm not like saying you're like better or worse or anything like that, but it's like your voice, the stories you tell and stuff. It's the same. It's not, you don't really take it as like gross out or shock value as they do sometimes, but like just the way you perform, I think it would have fit.
Thank you.
Would have fit
I appreciate
really good,
that.
So, but you know, I'm glad you continue to do your own solo stuff. And so, Kryptik, what was the last thing you guys released? Because the dates are a little bit all over the place on those, but it like 3 of them say 2021, but I know that was just re-releases.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I forgot to hit the right date when I uploaded them. I'm like, oh shit, these all look brand new, and they're fucking not.
Yeah.
Was that last year? Either last year or the year before, me and Ruckus did a little 3-song EP. And then I added those 3 songs that we did to VHS when I uploaded it, or home movies, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
When I uploaded home movies to digital, I added those 3 new songs that we did to that. So now it's like 10 tracks. That was the last Kryptik thing we did, was home movies.
Okay. And have you guys have never really like lived in the same state or anything? You guys?
No, this was all via, like, we were sending songs back and forth in the mail, because when we started doing this was like 33K dial-up internet. You can't send songs via the internet to work on.
No mega upload or anything like that.
Nothing. We both had the same digital audio workstation, and it took zip drives. So we would just take, like, I'd record my vocals, do what I got to do, add the effects, mail the zip drive to him. He put it in his machine. It would lay it all out. All he had to do is add his vocals, send the zip disk back, and it was done.
So you guys had to buy like the same equipment. So that way, but that's pretty much, it was pretty easy compared to to whatever you had to do before, though.
Well, originally, like, Ruckus used to come in every Halloween for a week. Like, we would plan an album out for a whole year. Like, we get beats together, ideas, write it all out, and then he'd fly into Omaha, and we just banging the record out in an entire week. Like, we would just hang out. I'd take the week off work, he'd take the week off work, and we would just fuck around and make a record. We did that for 2 or 3 albums, and then we're like, well, this is kind of expensive. Why don't we just buy some equipment that we can just send shit back and forth? And that's how it evolved.
Was the Beyond, that was kind of like, were you guys planning on doing like a Fulci tribute for that album?
It is a Fulci tribute, yeah. From the Beyond the 7 Doors of Death. Yeah,
that's fucking awesome,
because it's got 2 or 3 samples.
It's got at least
that album.
2.
Yeah,
at least 2.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that movie, as you can see right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's what turned me on to you guys like majorly, is like, oh shit, these guys know the movies. And then I started catching some of the references, like in the Komatose shit, Ruckus too. I mean, Ruckus said Ichi the Killer in one song, and I was like, damn, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
But then like you, I mean, so many references. You got Serbian film sample, which, you know, we're like an extreme horror network, so the kind of shit really,
for sure.
Yeah,
that movie flipped and fucked me up. Like, I've seen some shit, but I didn't know I didn't see all this shit. Like,
yeah,
that movie to me is like, it's an experience. You watch it, you say you did it, don't admit whether if you enjoyed it or if you disliked it. You just rode the ride. You're good. That's how I felt about it.
I love it, and my wife and I watch it all the time. So.
What are we doing after dinner? Another watch Serbian film, you know?
I mean, we watched it while she was pregnant, so.
Wow, newborn porn.
And then there's an extended cut coming out soon.
Yeah, I actually thought that was out yet. That's not out?
No,
I heard about it a while ago.
They put out a uncut Blu-ray.
Okay.
Which is like the best version you could get now. But then
Okay.
right as that came out, they had some more footage released.
Wow.
And so there's another version coming out from Unearthed Films, and the documentary. So
I'd be super interested in the documentary.
the documentary trailer is cool. I'll put it on the Cutthroat Discord.
I would love to
if
see it.
that's not too gross for the Discord. I don't know.
No, it's my Discord. Do what the fuck ever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
I just don't want people putting pictures of dead babies and fucking
Yeah.
mutilated shit. It's like, if it's a trailer for some art, okay, cool.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, there's a lot of people in our community that love all the shockumentaries and stuff, and it's like, that's not for me. Just like do that in your own Discord. I don't need to wake up to see like dead shit first thing in the morning. Like, but horror movie wise, what are some of your favorites?
Well,
any rare gems, rare ones? Any
rare ones,
like hidden gems?
Greasy Strangler. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen that?
I've wanted to see that for a while.
Greasy Strangler tattoo.
Oh shit, man. Okay, I gotta see it now. If you're that obsessed with it, I gotta see it. So,
I have. I'm super obsessed with it. Fun story. I actually turned a lot of people in Omaha onto the movie, and one of them happened to be our local late night horror host, and he fucking fell in love with the movie too. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna bring those guys in, and we're gonna do a fucking showing. And he said, you're gonna drive one of the guys from the airport, take him to the hotel, and then bring him to the event. I'm like, am I really? Fucking sweet. So like I got to schmooze it up, hang out with them, got to break bread with the dudes from the movie, got both their phone numbers. I actually did a music video with the Greasy Strangler, the old guy who's in the movie.
Oh, cool. Is that one of the Komatose videos?
No. I don't know what you know about what I do, but I'm like 15 different groups. This one's called Old Man Rap Syndicate, and the song is called Bullshit Artist.
I've seen these words around your social medias, but I had no idea what they meant.
Yeah, it's just a project with my buddy Mike Fantastic. We both, just fans of regular rap, so this was kind of like our regular rap venture. But the music in Greasy Strangler is like super odd and awkward, but yet kind of catchy. And when the main theme came on, like me and Mike were both like, this kind of beats. Like, we should make a rap beat out of this. So I did. And like, well, let's just do a song called Bullshit Artist, since that's like the phrase in the movie, like, you're a bullshit artist. No, fuck you. You're a bullshit artist. You're a horse shit artist. No, you're a lion shit artist. Like, they go back and forth like the whole fucking movie. So we made a song about it. We put it out there. We tagged Elijah Wood because he's a producer on it. We tagged the official page. We tagged a few of the artists. They all checked it out. They all gave us fucking love. And then Michael St. Michaels, who's the Greasy Strangler in the movie, says, when you guys filming a video? I said, in my head, I'm like, we're not. What the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, soon? He's like, can I be in it? I'm like, yeah. Like, sure. I don't know how we're going to get you here, but he was like, we'll do a Zoom call, and you can just record the Zoom call and put it in the thing. And that's exactly what we did. We did a Zoom session, and he spoke some lines that I wrote out for the video, and I took samples and shit from the movie and then clips from our conversation, slapped them in there. So it's like, I got a music video of the Greasy Strangler, which is fucking crazy.
That's fucking amazing. And that's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Just look up Bullshit Artists, Old Man Rap Syndicate, and you'll find it.
And that's on the Cutthroat Productions.
Yeah, it's on there.
All right. All those links are going to be down below.
Cool.
So fuck yeah. I was checking out your YouTube, and that goes pretty far back. There's a lot of stuff on there.
And the Greasy Strangler is not really, it's a horror movie kind of, but it's more of like a dark comedy, because it's fucking hilarious. And it's like, people are like, what's that tattoo on your arm? Nah, it's a movie. Now, what's it about? Have you ever you've seen Napoleon Dynamite? They're like, yeah, that's Napoleon Dynamite on acid if John Waters was the director. And they're like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, it's that kind of movie.
It's about how I imagined that movie. So
yeah,
it sounds like you put it pretty well.
Yeah. How about horror? I've been into like Ari Aster lately, like Hereditary and Midsummer, Something Strange About the Johnsons. That dude's
that's pretty good stuff. Yeah. That's really cool how he takes like emotional horror and like stress and anxiety and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
It makes that scarier than ghosts or murder or anything like that.
bro. Oh, it's just
Like,
he
when the
does good
mom
work.
wakes up crying, or when the kid wakes up to his mom crying after she's her dead daughter in Hereditary, like to
And he's just
me,
in the bed and he's like,
that was the most frightening part of almost any movie I've ever seen. Just a mother's anguish is just,
yeah,
that's enough.
yeah, that dude, he nails like just real horror. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in the situation. And the fact that you just have to sit there with it, like you have to experience this. You're not getting out of it. And it's not like, oh, blood's pouring out or the devil's here. You're just hearing someone suffer and you have to sit there. And that's just like, people don't do that in movies. It's uncomfortable.
Uncut.
It was very reminiscent. I'm sure you've seen Funny Games.
Yes.
Like when the kid gets killed.
Yeah.
And you had to sit there with it for like 5 minutes. Like, okay, can we get out of this? This is fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like it was very reminiscent of that.
Or Uncut Gems is another one. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have not seen that.
That movie is just a stress fest the whole time.
Really?
Or it's just putting you through, like, it might as well be a horror movie because it's so stressful.
Is that the one with Adam Sandler? Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
I'll have to give that a spin. It's the only reason why I didn't watch it because I'm just like, I'm not an Adam Sandler fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those movies. It's a crime movie. It's got the pacing of maybe like a Scorsese or something, but a little more artsy. So it's cool. I like it.
Oh, so kind of like Guy Ritchie.
I would say, yeah, maybe a little bit on the Guy Ritchie, but not as hip as a Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie does kind of get super like artsy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's good. I would recommend it, and that's something
I will check it out.
I put it off for a long time, and I wish I didn't.
Okay.
So yeah, cool. Any other good movies you have to recommend? Are you a big movie guy still, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like cinema is my shit. Like I don't know if you have Alamo where you're at, Alamo Movie House.
No, I know all about it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Alamo came out with the Movie Pass, and I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
I can watch movies, all the movies I want for $20 a month. Anything, I'm fucking with it.
Oh, well, that's
when
good.
I got that, I was like, yes, it's the best day ever.
Nice.
But yeah, I love movies. What did I just watch? Oh, I watched Parasite for the first time.
That's a good one.
2 days ago. I didn't know what to expect from that because I stayed away from all the reviews, didn't read spoilers, but I just knew it was a good movie and it was Korean. And I watched it, absolutely loved it. I didn't expect that. Like, oh, okay, that's fun. When the pandemic started, I was really curious about that movie, The Host. I don't know if you saw that.
Which isn't the Korean one. You're talking about like the webcam one?
Yeah, it was the one made in the pandemic with
I've been wanting to
webcams.
check that out. Oh, it's cool.
It's pretty good. If you're a ghost movie fan, like Paranormal Activity, Paranormal Encounters, shit like that. The Den.
Yeah,
if you saw
I love The Den. I like those cyber horror movies, like with the webcam. Like Unfriended was really good.
Dark Web.
Yeah,
Unfriended Dark Web was dope. It's very reminiscent of those, and the fact that they made it all during the pandemic on just webcams, dude, it's really good. Really good.
A Blair Witch kind of situation there. Like just take what little you have and make something out of it. It's cool.
I really enjoyed it. And then what else did I see? It's not too bad. Have you seen The Last Shift?
I've been recommended that a lot. It's supposed to be pretty scary, right?
It's dope. It's very reminiscent, kind of Hereditary, because it deals a little bit with Payman, the Demon King.
Oh, cool.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's like Silent Hill, kind of in a cop station with demon.
That's cool.
Haunting. So yeah, it's dope.
Have you seen The Void?
The 1984 movie?
No, it came out I think 2015.
Oh, I'm thinking of The Keep. Sorry, my bad.
Oh no, The Void. I know which one.
No, I haven't seen The Void.
That's a good one. That one's kind of Silent Hill meets like Hellraiser.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, it seems like something you'd like. The Void
for sure. The Void.
Yeah,
I want to write that down.
The Void, and then there's another one. It's a Turkish one. What's it called? Baskin.
Have you seen Baskin? I did see Baskin. Yeah.
The Void is almost like an American Baskin, but
yeah, because Baskin's kind of like out there. When they broke into that musical number, I'm like, what?
Okay, no musical.
Why does that happen?
Yeah, more Clive Barker, more culty for The Void, but that's a good gory one. It's I think it's made by some of the dudes from Master on 6 who did like Hobo with a Shotgun and like
Oh,
all
okay.
those kinds of
Cool.
movies, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Psycho Gorman or hear
I
about that one?
did. Oh, check. Hold up.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
I have a Psycho Gorman Happy Meal.
Oh, I didn't even know they made those.
There's this company, I can't remember what the fuck they were called, but they made Psycho Gorman action figures, Psycho Gorman Happy Meal, which they actually gave out in a restaurant in Canada for a week. And they said that you can order them. So I ordered one. And then they also came with commemorative cups. And if you see those two cups right there, those are the commemorative cups from Psycho Gorman.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. That movie cracked me the fuck up.
Me too. I'm gonna watch it. Probably watch it with my 10-year-old soon because I don't think it's that
awesome.
bad.
It's really not. It's just slapstick gore,
Yeah.
which I think
He's
kids
seen
can
Evil
probably
Dead 2,
handle.
so yeah. If
Oh,
you can
yeah.
see Evil Dead 2,
Yeah.
you can see Psycho Gorman.
For sure.
Are you thinking about getting into filmmaking still? I heard an old interview you were kind of like thinking of dabbling with it, or
I have. I've done 3 short films. The first 2 are really bad. The third one's not so bad. I actually am kind of confident. It's called The Bagman. It was written by this dude named Tony Crumpton in Alabama. He used to live here in Omaha. And a good filmmaking friend of mine that I look up to is like, you should make a short film. I said, I should. He's like, yeah, I'm challenging you. Make a short film. Because I was doing music videos and shit for people here locally. It's like, try it. So I did. And it's not bad. I think I did all right for my third effort, because making music videos and then going into actual film with dialogue and trying to move the story.
Stuff.
Yeah. Getting a real actors, not just
Money.
rappers standing around.
Yeah.
It's a different beast. I do have another movie I'm sitting on, another short film called The Road. It's kind of a classic tale. Car breaks down, woman gets into a car with a guy. Guy is not who he seems to be, and we'll just kind of leave it at that till I film it. I actually had actors lined up, a date set, pandemic hit. So it just didn't happen, and I'm still sitting on it. I'm waiting until, everything's back to being good and we can have 25 people together and not worry and still do it. So it's still in the works. And I've made movies with actually, I lied. My buddy Kevin Hesacker, we run a little movie company together called Omahiro Films. And we made a movie 2 years before the pandemic. It took all the way up to right before the pandemic before we got it done. And it's a comedy movie called Fowl Uprising. It's about a scientist who raises chickens to be the dominant species. They're here to take over the world. And we actually got it picked up by Troma. Troma's going to put it on Troma now.
Oh yeah.
So they actually picked it up right before Thanksgiving, not November, right before Thanksgiving. And they said it would be out in about a month. It's still not up there. I'm going to reach out to Kevin because Kevin signed all the paperwork and find out what's going on, but should be out there. I don't know.
I never thought I'd think of a Komatose Troma crossover.
Yeah, man.
Of some sort.
It's really funny. It's super low budget. We probably spent $6 on the whole thing, but
yeah,
it's fun. It's a good time. And we screened it twice here locally. We got applause and ovation and shit, and people laughed at the jokes. So I think it hits home. It does its job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna watch it. I think
man.
I still have Troma now.
If you do, look for Fowl Uprising, like bird fowl, FOWL, and then Uprising, and let me know if it's up there. It
sounds
should
like a good double feature with Zombievers or something.
Oh yeah, it's same fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So are there any horrorcore rappers that don't do it anymore, but you wish they still stayed in the game? Like, who do you miss?
Who do I miss?
This is one of the questions I was like, maybe I should send this ahead of time.
No, I like the spontaneity of it. I would say Prime Cap One from Simkin Heights. I absolutely loved, was it Holy Water or Smokebox? It was their second record with Kingdom of the Shells, because I remade Kingdom of the Shells on Boom Bap Bloodspat Horrorcore Backpack. That is like
Was that Religion of the Beast?
Religion of the Beast. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the one. Yes. I wish Cap and Mass from that era still were around today. I bet it would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. I do too. Simpkin Heights is extremely underrated, even though I feel like they get a lot of shine from the people that know them, but not enough people know them.
Exactly. And that's because they were what I consider, like, me and Ice Pick Willie have this nomenclature for our group. Like, we're second gen. Like, Simpkin Heights, KGP, ICP, even Kurt, Bedlam. That's first gen. They were doing it 91, 92, 93, 94. We were the 95 to 2000 era where we came in. So that's first gen. I wish first gen people were known more about. Like, I was talking with Marshland Monster from He Fucks with KYP. We were writing down the history today. We're like, have you heard of this? Have you heard of these guys? What about these guys? What are these guys up to? I'm like, man, I wish like we had like a library of where all this old music is that you can't get anymore. Because I went on a deep dive for like when I got my first Simpkin Heights tape, I got another tape called The Down Boys, which are some dudes from Michigan.
Yeah. I was wondering what that was.
And I've like, did I make it up? Did I dream it? Because like I can't find it anywhere. Like, they don't exist on the current web at all.
Yeah.
And they had a really cool song called Ear to Ear, which was, about slitting throats.
Dope.
And I remember one of the rappers' name was Wiz. And that's what I use. I like Down Boys, Wiz, Ear to Ear, Michigan rap, horrorcore. Can't find shit. It's like, I wish it was cataloged somewhere.
Yeah, that's what sucks about also, especially with horror and extreme content, like people want to get far away from it once they've distanced themselves, and they just disappear off the face of the earth. Cap One, I think, might be in jail right now. Could be wrong.
I know he came back about a year ago, and I saw him post something 2021, I think.
Yeah,
maybe my wife did, because my wife was a big KGP fan, and she's like, "Oh man, what's Cap up to?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah."
I heard some bad shit, but I don't know if it's true, so I'm not like say it out loud. But
yeah, I hear you.
I couldn't even figure out, like, read into it or whatever. But it'd be sad if that was true, because honestly, Cap's solo stuff, he's got some cool solo shit too. So
yeah, he's a fucking pioneer, man. He's one of the forefathers for sure. For sure.
According to Damian Quinn, he ate 9 McChickens in a row at once.
I've heard that story.
And he wouldn't share one.
Right. I've heard that story. Yeah, Cap, back when we were in the Kryptik days, he actually hit us up to do a song way back in the day, which never came to be because our recording equipment, Cap was recording in a pro studio at that time, and we just had our little digital audio workstation, and he's like, it's not sounding good enough. We're like, it's okay. We tried.
So. Interesting. Well, you met him
fun
though
fact.
And stuff? Did you get to talk to him about Simpkin Heights at all?
No. Cap, KGP, not Cap.
Oh, KGP.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That's all.
Are you talking about Cap 1 or KGP who got in trouble now?
I was talking about Cap 1.
Yes, I've heard those stories too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Cap 1.
No, he has disappeared from the internet, and I think you and I have both heard the same story.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and I can't find that information anywhere. So I was just trying to figure out if it was true or not. But yeah.
You know his real name? I mean, we're not going to say it, but if you look up his real name, I heard that the records are out there.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure I can like put the string together and figure it out. But yeah. Just wanted to confirm that. Well, RIP to the good memories on Simpkin Heights.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I still bump Religion of the Beast to this day.
Oh, me too.
Still a classic album.
There's a few artists in the scene that I still listen to that, are terrible people. But but I love that you took the Kingdom of Shell's song and made it your own, because
thank you.
And like, you have a pretty similar voice to Mass, like
I do,
with the deep voice. So I mean, it was perfect tribute to that.
Thank you. And I don't know if you've ever listened to the chorus, but actually phrase sample Mass when he sings the chorus. It's like buried behind my voice. If you listen real carefully, you can hear Mass with me on the chorus because I sampled it with it.
That's cool. Is he still alive?
From what I understand, he actually became a preacher.
Okay.
Mass started doing mass. That's the last I've heard. I don't know if he's still alive. I heard he was in Florida and he was preaching the good word.
I wonder if he knows how many like super nerds like me are like just trying to figure out where he is.
Right? Where you at, Mass?
There's so many threads online. There's just people, where's Simpkin Heights? Like,
yep.
You're never getting it. Never.
Nope.
Never getting the documentary, never getting the album, nothing.
Nope.
So I have a question. Any good memories with Dark Half or Gino? Because you've had them on quite a bit of your music.
Bruh. Here's the thing, like, this is one of my favorite stories of all time of doing music. So I saw the boys, they met me at Death Fest. It was in Texas, and I'm driving from Omaha down to Dallas, and I get there and I know Shy One's there, SKR's there, nobody else. I had no clue who they were. Like, I wasn't entrenched in the scene. I thought, like, okay, I have my crew and like my crew does this and that's about it. So I get there and of course, like, Jeff is there, Stitches, Scum is there. It's the first time I meet Scum. Gino and Damien are there, first time I meet them. So my hotel room is right next to Damien and Gino, and everyone's outside on the balcony partying. Like, Bloodshot's there, Stitchmouth is there, Rezakel, everybody from SKR is hanging out. And I get approached by these two guys, and they're like, Komatose. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, Damien, nice to meet you. I said, hey, how's it going? And Gino's like, hey, man, how's it going? I'm like, oh, good. It's like, oh, we're big fans. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Thanks, man. I'm glad you dig my shit. He's like, so tell me, where were you when you thought of this song? I'm like, what do you mean, where was I? Like, what mind frame were you in? What was going through your mind? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I'm just trying to tell some stories. Like, it was so cool. Like, they were really trying to like dissect and break down like my writing and creative process. And they were like, so Dead Hate the Living from Kryptik, you got that album name from the movie, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, but did you like the movie? I'm like, no, I hated that movie.
Nobody
He's
liked
like,
that movie.
good, because that movie shit, dog. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. I just like the title. So yeah, I mean, that was, and the fact that how big they became and how revered they became in our scene, it's just like, wow, that's fucking sweet. And then I didn't see him perform because I had no idea they were rappers. I thought they were just fans. And I kind of, at the club we performed at, there was like an upstairs, a downstairs, and then like an outside surrounding area. And the SKR was upstairs. So I was just hanging out until it was my turn to perform. And I only knew Shy One. And I'm like, okay, well, Shy One's performing with me. We're doing the dark, and then I'm going to catch his set and blah, blah, blah. So I had no idea they're performers. I was like, oh, when I went to Strictly for the Wicked that following summer, it's like, holy shit, it's those boys. He's like, yeah, we're a group. And then I watched them and I saw them perform, like, holy shit, these dudes are good. Like, they're really, and they look up to me. What the, get the fuck out of here.
Well, you can see the influence there, but like from Kryptik, obviously, there's a lot of influence in Dark Half and like all their horror references and stuff, and like just the dark vibes and stuff. Do you know what era that was? That was the SKR era, right? So
yeah,
Innocent of Man, probably they were referring to something like that, or
either In the Cinnamon or The Ugly.
Yeah,
right around there. Yeah,
Innocent of Man was a pretty dark album. Had some pretty
you.
Dark tracks on it, but I love that. I love
Thank
that
you.
stuff. So you wanted to like kind of explain in your SKR, like how you got into it and how you left, because it was Cutthroat before that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then SKR, and then back to Cutthroat.
Yep.
So what happened?
You want the story?
Yeah, sure.
So let's go back to AIM and file sharing and Kazaa and shit like that.
I was there.
Yeah. So, you know, being an independent rapper in the horrorcore scene in 2003, 2004, it's a rough time. Like, you press up 200 records, hopefully you would sell 50, 100, and if you're lucky, the whole run. So I pressed up Among the Dead, which was me, Creepy X, Ruckus. It was our little side project.
Great album.
Thank you. I sold 22 copies. And then, like, I'm getting hit up by people like, oh, Among the Dead is so good, blah, blah, blah. Among the Dead. Like, all these people, I'm getting all these reviews. And I'm like, how the fuck did you all hear this? I still got 160 copies. Like, what the fuck? And then like that snowballed into the next record. Like, no one's buying shit. Like, why am I spending all this money that I don't have really, that no one's fucking buying? So I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking done. I'm just gonna quit. Like, I was completely done. Like, I'm not gonna do horrorcore. I'm not gonna rap. People just stealing my shit. Fuck it. So I quit. And then a friend of mine that I still do music to this day under a different group. Like I said, I'm in 65,000 groups right now. We did a little side project, a little hip hop thing. And Razakel just hits me up out of nowhere. She's like, what are you working on? I'm like, nothing. She's like, well, you want to come up part in SKR and do some records? I'm like, who's SKR? Like, I had no idea who they were. She introduced me everything, showed me the roster, and I was like, okay, well, what can you do for me? It's like, well, we'll take care of your merch. We'll press up your records. If there's tour opportunities, we'll put you on. You know, we'll give you production, mixing, mastering, whatever you need. We'll take care of it. No cost to you. Okay. So I was back in the horrorcore game. It's like, fuck it, let's do it. So I got back into there, and it went well for a while. I don't like to talk ill on people, but I'm sure you've heard stories about how Andy and Eva are in real life. They're not pleasant people, let's say. They portray themselves a certain way online, and in person they're a different way. So I didn't like that. It's an ugly way to be, in my opinion. Like, what you see with me is what you get. I'm a quiet guy. I'm kind of reserved. If you talk to me, I'll talk back to you. I'll take a picture. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you dig me, fucking sweet. Let's take a picture. Let's sign autographs. Let's talk. But other than that, you know, I'll just sit in a corner and mind my business. I'm not here for drama. I'm not here to stir shit up or whatever. So some of their antics got into my personal life with my person that I was dating at the time. They were throwing secret shade at each other. Like, they would throw little references back and forth on fucking social media. And it came down to the fact, like, it was causing personal problems in my house. So I'm like, I can't have this anymore. Like, y'all are kind of shitty people anyways, and you are being shitty to my significant other. I can't have that. So after Strictly for the Wicked 3 or 4, I knew I was quitting when I was going there, but I didn't tell Satanic, like, hey, I'm quitting.
Yeah,
this is it. I waited till the whole thing was over. I pulled him aside before I was about to leave. I said, hey man, I gotta go. Like, this shit ain't working. He's like, can I talk you out of it? I'm like, nah, man, this shit between you just not working with the camp, the dynamic and shit. And he's like, well, just give it 30 days and think about it. I said, all right, man, I'll give it 30 days before we make it public. So he hit me up. He's like, how you feeling? I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. Because there's, in that 30 days, them two were still taking secret fucking low jabs to each other. I'm like, y'all are fucking dumb. Wow. Like, why you got to do this? Just be a fucking adult and just do this.
Well, no. Yeah. It's
just
like,
shake it off.
What kind of interest is there in that when you have like a business and like some sort of musical passion? It's just a waste of time.
So I said, no, I'm done, dog. He said, okay, well, we'll put out a little press release. We'll say, hey, amicable split, everything's cool. And for the most part, it was. But then as soon as like they announced like I'm departing, Eva goes and runs her yap about how it's a great day and this is the way it should be. And then Andy goes and sells some Kryptik beats that he made for us on Beyond. He sold some records to that Molly chick from Canada. I can remember what the fuck her name, Molly Gruesome. Like, if you listen to one of her songs, it's like one of the songs from that Kryptik record. And I'm like, you gonna really do me like that, dog? Damn. So I was like, yeah, we're good. If you're gonna do me like that, dog, we're good. So, and then I'm like, I still got this horror shit in me. I can't stop. Like, there's just something inside of me that says you have to do this. Like, I don't get it. People try to ask me like, well, why do you do what you do? I don't know. I can't answer that question. It's just something in me that says I have to do it. So then my friend, Mike Fantastic, wanted someone to record him, wanted someone to produce for him. I said, come on, buddy, let's do it. Like, let's open this back up. So we did. And then I just came back home to what I started by myself.
So the second version of Cutthroat was Mike Fantastic and you.
Mike Fantastic, me, and then I've had a myriad of people come to the doors. You know, Jay Hex was on there for a while. Ice Pick Willie was. A couple local cats. Big Dog, Lionel Hustle. Currently, I've got Mr. Gates and Mike Fantastic, and then Bunny Danger. So I'm still doing it.
Cool.
I don't learn my lesson, dude. One day it'll kill me, and that'll be it.
Hey, man, we're all happy that you're still doing it, and
Thanks, man.
and staying strong. And that's awesome.
Thank you.
What was the best part of your best era of your career? Would you say? Maybe what was the worst? I don't know.
I think my best era is always now, today. Today is my best era. I think, when people, what is disheartening to me is when people say, you know what, your music's just not as good as it used to be. Or people say, I like that better, the old stuff. I'm like, but that's backwards though, because I didn't have good recording equipment. My delivery was not as polished as it was then. My wordplay wasn't good. I have new techniques, tricks, and everything. So I always think my last thing I did is always the best. Blood Splat, Boom Bap, Horrorcore, Backpack. I love that record. If I put out an interview, I said, if I die tomorrow and this is the last record I put out, it's perfect. There's nothing better. And what I have planned next, it's crazy. I don't want to put it out there because let's just say it's gonna transcend safety. It's gonna be what? Seriously? I can participate. That's all I'm gonna say. I can participate with Komatose somehow. That's all I'm gonna say. So the best to me is always what I'm currently working on, because it's new ideas, it's sharper iron, it's the best tricks and techniques that I know. So it's just current. As for the worst, I would say at the end of SKR, that shit was just hectic in my life.
Yeah, that sounds kind of stressful.
Yeah. Just coming home and be like, I hate everybody on your label. Fuck them, leave them, they're garbage. I'm like, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you don't get along with people, I can't do that. Y'all figure it out. But
yeah. Were you noticing, were you making more money on SKR, or were you getting a lot more promo, or was it worth it at all? Or
yeah, I was getting paid. I know Bloodshot had issues with Andy and money. I had no issues. I currently have issues with SKR because Madman is still my top selling album. I have not seen money from that since I left. And
is really good too. So you need to be profiting off of that.
Yeah. So if anyone on SKR sees this interview, give me my fucking money.
Yeah.
But up until that point, I was paid. They paid for me to go to Dallas. They paid for me to go to Michigan every year. It didn't cost me anything. They took care of me while I was on the label. When I left the label, they still make money off me, which kind of sucks ass, but it is what it is. I mean, I've talked to some people. I kind of got some things in the works, seeing what kind of rights I can get back off of that. Because they were like, did you sign anything officially? I'm like, no, there's no signed documents. It was a spit and a handshake. And they're like, well, let's see what we can do about that. And that's probably happened about 2 months ago. So I'm still kind of seeing what I can do.
Be interesting just to see what would happen if you released it yourself. If there would even be any repercussions. Here's
the funny thing. Me and Marshland Monster, I really got chummy with that dude because he put me on an interview, and it was one of the funnest interviews I did because the premise of his show is we're going to watch a Japanese TV show in Japanese, and then we're going to talk about it, and whatever happens. I'm like, that's fucking odd. And it was a really fun interview. And he kind of hit me up and was like, yeah. He's like, well, I make beats. And I checked them out these are kind of dope. It's like, would you be interested in doing a remix perhaps? He's like, yeah, what are you thinking? I was like, I'm Madman. So I gave him the vocal files to the I'm Madman song, just the song, not the whole record. And he sent it back, and it is a different ball game. Like I'm gonna put that out here probably within the next month or two, just single, see how it goes. If people are digging it, then maybe I'll remix the whole album. It'll still be the same vocal files. I still have all the original files. I'm not gonna re-record it like I did the Ugly, but maybe I'll just do a remix, put it out, and see if I can put a little stab in the money that he's making off of me.
Yeah,
So
that'd be cool.
We'll see how it goes.
Full length albums in the works at all for Komatose?
Yes. I'll give your show an exclusive. The record is called My Beloved, or what? My Brother's the Beloved Fallen is what it's going to be called. I'm sorry, I had to unjumble it in my head. It is a complete concept album from second zero to the all the way end. It's going to tell a story. It's going to be encompassing. It's going to make you think, is he fucking with me? Like, that's all I can really say. But it has a complete theme, a complete idea. It's completely produced. All the ideas and topics are there. I just got to write it. And that's becoming the hard part, because this is going to be very meticulous and an animal I've never like unleashed before. Like not personally, but like up in here, like I am doing something that's grand. So
wow,
it's wild. I can't wait to like get it done and put the whole road behind me and like, look, I did it.
Yeah.
Fucking sweet.
My mind is spinning on what it could be too, because that just sounds pretty crazy. Like a lot of the stuff you're talking about in the future sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be something different. And I really don't think anyone's ever done something like this before. So,
and I really think, I'm just throwing this out there, I think the Komatose character is so good. Why not make a slasher film with him as the killer?
You know,
like Scott Shermer or something would be cool to direct that. Like the guy that did Headless.
Yeah, a friend of mine
found. He did Found.
A friend of mine actually penned a short story back when we were Asylum with Ruckus, myself, and the third member. It was called Sepulchral Awakenings, and it tells our story of us in the asylum, what it was like, why we were there, how we got there, what life was like, and then our execution, you know, right up to before we became Kryptik, because that's how Kryptik was born. We were mental patients killed and then resurrected. That's like the general overall story of how Kryptik is.
That's fucking awesome.
And then that it could be a movie, technically. Like, it's there. If I wanted to make it, I could do it, but it's like, do I want to put Ruckus and the other guy in there? Not really, because they're not a part of my current DNA. So I could just like skim those parts out and make a movie out of it. I could, but so many ideas, so little time.
And to go back to Ruckus, what is his mask? Because it's a Scream mask sometimes, but like I've seen other ones where it's like kind of red and like got a tongue.
That was the evolution. Yeah, he's got originally started out as Father Death, which was the original Scream mask, and he had it before Scream was out, when that mask was just a mask. He actually had it then. And then I believe it's when he got married and moved into his first house, he lost it. He tried to buy another one, couldn't find it, and they found the devil version where it's that red mask with the tongue and the little teeth. And that's what it ended up being, was just, he's only had those two.
That mask is fucking cool. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's a nice spin on it.
You can't find that now either. Like,
nope.
if I ever find that mask, I'm buying it. I'm being Ruckus for Halloween.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah. How's your Twitch stream going? We're almost done here. I just got a couple more.
You're fine. I'm not in any hurry right now. You're good. Right. Twitch is building. I've had some good paydays recently.
That's
so
Twitch
that's
live
good.
from Studio C, right?
Yes, twitch.tv/live from Studio C. Cool. I'm focusing mainly on horror gaming with retro gaming thrown in there. I'm a big fan of 16-bit era, and then of course Silent Hill and all the current horror shit. Like, I just played the scariest game ever, Visage. Like, that game actually legit. Like, I would walk down a hall and I'm like, I don't want to go down that hall. Fuck that hall. That game is fucking, it would be like if Ari Aster made a fucking video game. That's the best way to put it, because it's a family drama. It's drama with the people who used to live in the house and what the fuck they did wrong. And it's these 4 stories, the main protagonist and the 3 inhabitants who lived there before him. And it's all the story and how it became haunted and why they're there. And it's It's fucked up. It's mad fucked up.
That's
I
cool.
love that game. Yeah. And then Live from Studio C started with the music, me streaming live performances here out of the house. That's how it actually started. And I still dabble with that. We did one in October where it was me, Mr. Gates, Smoke Break, and Kid Corduroy. We did a Halloween special where we all did a show. And then I'm thinking about flirting with doing just a Komatose show here in the spring for Twitch. And then we currently moved to a wrestling format because I'm a big wrestling fan. So we're doing AEW watch-alongs on Wednesday night. Just flip us on, and it's like we're commentating and making observations and talking wrestling news and shit, because I've been a wrestling fan since as long as I've been a horror fan. So fuck it.
Cool.
And that's making a little bit of noise too. So getting paid to do like hanging out is kind of fucking cool. So
Yeah,
I love it a lot. It's fun.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your stream looks good too. And
Thank you.
there's not a lot of people cornering the horror market on Twitch. Like I kind of tried to do it. Like I have a Twitch stream too. I don't do it that often anymore because
You should throw me a follow out. I'll follow you back.
Okay, yeah, I did follow you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I don't always see my follows.
Yeah.
Like I'm still figuring out how all this shit works. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. But I was realizing half the games I was playing are banned from Twitch. Like I was
like they have a ban list, and I didn't know that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I better not play these games.
I was playing modded Manhunt 1,
Yeah.
and there was like 20 people watching me, and usually there's only like 2. I'm like, why are there so many people watching me tonight? This is awesome. And then like I looked it up, I'm like, oh, I was playing a banned game. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, and there's like, it's a lot of mods actually. If you play any modded Nintendo games, if Twitch catches you, they'll ban you, which I didn't know. Like I learned that the hard way. I played some guy remade Metroid 2 for like Super Nintendo, so it's got all super graphics, new soundtracks, and all shit. Looks fucking great. Just playing it, having a good time. Some guy came in and was like, have you gotten banned yet? I'm like, for what? Like, you're not supposed to be playing modded Nintendo games. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I looked it up, and sure as shit, I was like, nope, didn't know that.
It's so weird. Internet
Yeah.
censorship is like, it's out of control now. Like,
Yeah, I remember the Wild West of the internet. We could just do the fuck whatever you want. Now it's
Mhm.
like got fucking rules and shit. And
there was a sweet spot somewhere between now and the Angel Fire GeoCities days, but like,
yeah, for sure,
but-
for sure.
but like now it's like you can't, if you're in the horror business, like if you're doing horrorcore, if you're doing extreme horror kind of stuff, unless you're posting stuff about The Conjuring or some like tame shit like that,
Yeah,
it's gonna get deleted. You're gonna get banned. Like you can't even have fake blood on Pornhub anymore. Like
wow.
yeah, it's
I didn't know that.
or even in OnlyFans, you can't do like an erotic like blood show or anything. It's just
Wow.
yeah, there's just nowhere to do this shit anymore, and it's terrible. And it goes into music, it goes into any kind of art.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's where the underground comes in.
it's because of fucking corporations, dude. That's all it is. So it boils down to people want their corporate dollars. They want that fucking Honda commercial to bump right before your fucking stream, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's terrible. But
Yeah.
speaking of that corporate stuff, though, have you ever had problems clearing any of your samples on your albums?
There's a fun story, a great fun story. Not a lot of people know. I actually got a cease and desist from
Nice.
Virgin Records for The Ugly. That's why The Ugly was taken down about 6 months after it was put on distro. The ecstasy sample on Dear God, the acoustic guitar and little kid saying Dear God,
Mhm.
someone reported it, and or like some executive found it, was like, fuck you, pay me. We got a cease and desist letter, court documents, the entire nine. I wish I still had it because I would fucking frame it. Like I'd put that up on the wall as a fucking badge of honor, because I have sampled so much shit in my life. The fact that I got caught off of some 80s song from Virgin Records, and they were like, let me see your sales reports, let me see your hard copy reports, your streaming reports, and we're going to see if this is worth fucking suing over. And it wasn't, because we're fucking horrorcore. A couple thousand, what are they going to get? $6 out of me? Like, no. But yeah, so that's why that actually got pulled from digitals, because of that sample from Ecstasy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Seems like you have a pretty eclectic music tastes? What have you been listening
very.
to lately?
Very. My shit right now, Donnie Benet, which is really weird. It's an Australian alternative retro synth wave 80s pop thing, which is really weird. Like, I don't know why it resonates with me. It just does. He's fucking awkward. He can kind of sing, and his music is just like super 80s. It's what's hitting me. I got into Ghost recently. I was not into Ghost. My wife was a super huge fan. I heard them a couple times. I'm like, they're okay. And then we went and saw the show. My wig got flipped. I got all their albums off of iTunes. Been bumping that shit pretty hard. Been digging into the history, learning about Tobias Forge and how he came up with Ghost and his whole ideology and approach to it. Hip hop wise, I've been listening to Black Lick. Black Lick is fucking amazing. He's the newest artist on Strange Famous. Dude is just the raw truth. Like, I haven't heard raw truth hip hop like that for a good 10 years. Like, I am super into this dude. His record is called Time is the Price. And if you think about it, that is the price. Like, everything you do costs you time. Like, that is the most valuable commodity, is your fucking time. You can't get it back. No matter how much money you got, no matter how wealthy you are, you cannot buy time. You can't buy seconds, hours, minutes, days, nothing.
Yep.
And I was like, that hits home. There's a little phrase that he has in the record. He's like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm at a point in my life. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I feel that. I feel that big time. I am at a point in my life where I'm at a point in my life. Like, some of the shit he just says just hits, and it's good shit. I love it a lot.
Hell yeah.
And as for horrorcore, the only shit, like, I respect a lot of my peers, like Scum, one of the best dudes I've ever met. I'm not big into his catalog. Horrorcore wise, I'm big into Al Azul either. Like, I love those dudes. Like, to me, that is the future. They're doing everything right. They got a great look. They got a little mystery about them, like not a lot of people that they look like. They can rap pretty fucking solid. Their beat production choice is pretty fucking dope. They have great atmosphere, ideologies, the whole nine. Like,
yeah,
I hope those dudes take it to the next level. Like, they're the fucking truth.
Hope they make a movie. And Komatose has a cameo in it.
Well, I'm saying, like, they put it out there. They're like, who wants to be on Camp Zool 2? I said, I do. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be so sick, man. I mean, I don't think I would be able to make it there, but if I saw you there, like, online, that'd be sick.
I threw my hat in the ring, so we'll see what happens. See if they know me. If, whatever. Cool.
Well, that about wraps it up for tonight, but thank you so much for joining me. And, like, I'd love to have you back on maybe in a year or so, like, once all this new stuff comes out. And
that would be fucking amazing. Let's do that. That'd be let's. Cool. It's been a great time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe we can game together on Twitch too.
You know? Oh, fuck yeah!
I'll see you in the Discord. We'll talk about it.
Do you play Phasmophobia?
No, maybe I should buy it and play it.
It's cheap. It's only like $13. It's a pretty fun game. You go ghost hunting. It's kind of scary because, like, the ghost will fuck with you, throw shit at you. It'll whisper in your ear and scream at you.
I've seen videos. It looks like it could be pretty funny too. Like,
yeah, it is. It's a blast. People. Yeah, it's a blast. So yeah, just hit me up, man.
Oh yeah, man. Well, thanks so much, Komatose.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Have a great night.
No problem. You too.
Right. He'll send you to your maker, then give your blood to hell. Deceased in my kingdom, may you rot in your shell. He'll send you to your maker, then give your blood to hell. Deceased in my kingdom, may you rot in your shell. Trapped in the village of the kingdom of the dust. Komatose is here to spread the non-believer's guts. The bloodlust motherfuckers get touched. Guess what? Press luck and skulls get crushed. Your best sucks. You can't kill an ancient evil. Just pray it decides to sleep until they make a sequel.